Hi, it's Mike with the Claim Squad Public Adjusters. How you can maximize your storm damage claim is today's video. Whether you have a home, condo, townhome, business, it doesn't matter. I'm going to give you some tips on how you can, by yourself, try to maximize every single dollar that you get. Now, first, let me put this little disclaimer. If you have a larger claim, I do not recommend trying to settle with the insurance company yourself. A lot of times you can say the wrong thing. Give you an example. Many people have roof damage claims, and they'll say it was heavy rain and then all of a sudden I had a leak. Well, here's what you may have just goofed up on. While in fact it may be heavy rains that cause a leak, are you 100% sure some windstorm, whether it be from a tropical storm, hurricane, or tornado, didn't cause your roof to be damaged, and then subsequent there was a rainstorm, a heavy rainstorm, and caused a leak? As soon as you say rain and only rain, the insurance company will deny your claim. So this is why I think it's very important. Anything over $10,000, but I'm going to give you tips that will apply to any amount of claim if you decide you want to try it yourself. It's not something I recommend, and most people are not very successful at doing it themselves. You would think the insurance company has your best interest and will look out for you, and they'll be nice and lead you down that path, and then you'll be extremely disappointed by how much money you're going to have to put out of your pocket, or that they denied the claim. So let's get into 10 points. The most important point is going to be tip number 10, the very last one. I'm saving the best for last. This is my own strategy that if I were to handle my own claim, what I would do to pin the adjuster in a little box, and they're not going to like it. So it's a good one. Okay, number one, the estimate. When you look over the insurance company's estimate, 10 times out of 10 times, they miss things, the prices are lower, and the estimate is extremely low. Just to give you an example. Currently, right now, I have a claim. This is just one example. I could probably go through every single claim file I have and come up with the same type of example. I got a banker's box, these files. This is what I do to follow up. Every single insurance estimate is low, 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 low. One client that I have, they estimated her damages at $4,000. Our estimate is at $52,000, $54,000. I don't remember the exact amount. That's how big of a difference it is. This is what people deal with on an everyday basis when you're dealing with the insurance company. Okay? So how do you overcome that? If you have a contractor and his estimate's larger, you can use that and utilize it. The other thing, let's say you don't have a contractor's estimate, but you want to make sure that some of the things you need to have repaired are included that might not be included in the estimate. The insurance company uses a program called Xactimate. And I'm going to put an example of just a section of an Xactimate estimate. And as you'll see, they go line by line with item for any wood that needs to be replaced, walls, drywall, paint, etc. Now, a lot of those prices are a lot lower than what a regular contractor would give. So what you want to do also in any type of estimate, let's say you do get from a contractor, you want to include a few $100s or more on items such as moving contents, hazardous waste, something we call content manipulation. That's going to build up the estimate more and give you a few $1,000s more at the end of the day to negotiate with. The other thing, overhead and profit. Make sure you include that in the estimate. Now let's take a look at tip number 2, personal property. If you're negotiating with the insurance company, you have some damaged personal property, it's going to be based on 2 different types of coverage. Replacement costs, which essentially is as soon as you replace the item, you'll get that full value. or what they call actual cash value. So they'll take what you paid for it approximately. So if you got a TV that you paid $1,200 for, 5 years old, they're going to take depreciation. Now, here's the key. Depreciation is a random number. They just pull it out of the air, whatever they want. Some use a guide, but even that guide's inaccurate. Negotiate on that depreciation. Even if, let's say, $1,200 TV, 5 years old, and they take $535. Go back and say, hey, listen, it was in great shape. There's going to be 10 more years, 15 more years. Would you agree to depreciate it by only $200? That's how you get and maximize your damage claim. Number 3, if the roof is involved, okay, check the insurance company estimate. Is the square footage of the roof correct? I find a lot of times the insurance company will actually lower the actual amount of square footage on a roof. So somebody may have what they call 34 squares in the roofing industry. That would be 3,400 square feet of roofing. They call it 34 squares. Sometimes I see estimates do 32 or 31. All right, they do things of that nature. Also, you want to check the type of roof that they're giving you credit for. If you have shingles, are they putting cheaper shingles on? If you have concrete tile, is the price lower than what you can get if you contacted a roofing company and then they sent you to one of the distributors for that concrete tile? All these things you have to take in consideration. Also, if they're not giving you credit for a new roof, is over 25% of the roof damage? If so, I want you to quote this and write it down. Florida Building Code 611.1.1. That states basically if you have over 25% damage to your roof, you are entitled to a roof replacement. Okay? Note that. You also want to use, if you have a roofing contractor's estimate, use their estimate. If you get a few different roofing contractors' estimates, get the highest and use the highest. Okay? That's tip number 3. Number 4. When you're going through their estimate, if there's one part of the wall that's damaged, let's say this wall right here, well, I have a wall behind there. Do you know there's not damage to the other part of the wall? Well, the insurance company's going to say, okay, we'll give you this wall, but they may not give you the wall behind it, and you might have damage. And even though you can't see it, it could be on the inside of the wall where it's not noticeable, or some of the other wood. So always include the other wall. Even if you don't see it, always include it. With floors, Florida has a matching statute. So if the insurance company tries to tell you, okay, if you have continuous floors, let's say through your bedrooms, living room, dining room, kitchen, if one part of that floor is damaged, you get all new floors. That's right. It's called Florida matching statute. They have to. Now, what they can do is try to find a tile company that will get the tiles for them if they can match it. If they can't match it and can't supply you with the tiles, then and you have this continuous flooring, they owe you for the entire flooring throughout the whole house. Okay, so remember that. That's tip number 4. Number 5, let them pay you, then go back for more. And what we call a supplemental claim. What's that all about? So let's say your total claims were $20,000, and they say, hey, we're going to give you a check right now for $4,000. That's all we see damage. Just say, okay, all right. You know, I think my claim's worth a lot more, but go ahead and send that check. Now, don't sign anything. Even if you signed a release, it's probably invalid unless there's certain wording on that release. So be careful. But once they send you the check, at least you're getting money. All right? So get that check. Then you go back and you say, wait a minute. This isn't, I can't get anything repaired for this amount. You go back, once you get the check, you have it. You can cash it. That's fine. Again, you have to check because in Florida, okay, a lot of releases are invalid if they send you a check and they don't put certain wording on the release. For instance, that you have a right to a supplemental claim. Now, if they paid you $4,000, and let's say they pay you another $10,000, they'll probably have you sign a release. At that point, it is valid if they make a supplemental payment. So be careful with that. Tip number 6. In your policy, if you disagree with the amount that they have given you, you have a right to two processes without going through a lawsuit. Number 1, you can request a mediation through the state. Number 2, there's a condition called the appraisal process. During the appraisal process, you can have somebody to act on your behalf as an appraiser. The insurance company has to hire somebody to act as an appraiser. Those two, now you can hire a public adjuster to do it. There'll be a fee involved, okay? Doesn't have to be a public adjuster, but you might be able to discuss a lower fee, and they may want to do that for you. Any of my clients for an appraisal process they want to go through, I can represent them. Doesn't cost them any more, so it's a benefit. At that point with the appraisal process, if the two appraisers can't get anything together and agree on a settlement, then you can select an umpire. That umpire then should be a neutral third party that both agree on, and then he would decide the case and how much you can get. All right? So those are two different processes that speeds it up and makes it a lot faster with a lawsuit. Number 7, power surges. If there's anything related to a storm, you might have electrical items not working, and you can claim that it was a power surge. Okay? When it's from the power surge, you gotta be careful. You gotta read your policy. Sometimes they may not cover it, sometimes they do. So you gotta be careful. But take a look at your policy. If it does cover it, then you can say that the storm actually incited your TV, computer, laptop, whatever it might be, of being damaged. You could claim that. All right. Number 8, a lot of people don't take advantage of this. So a lot of times when we have hurricanes, tropical storms, there's branches and trees and other debris that is all around our yard. Well, if you have a larger tree, and let's say it was cracked by lightning, or it's tipped over or fallen over from the storm, whatever it might be, your policy actually has a certain amount of coverage. Maybe it's 500, maybe it's 1,000, maybe it's more, of debris cleanup. So you want to utilize that. Even if you do it yourself, make the claim for it. Number 9, loss of use. If there's a certain point where you have substantial damage, and if you're going through the repairs, you don't have to live there. Loss of use entitles you to go somewhere else, and the insurance company has to pay for it. Hotel, Airbnb, etc. So utilize that. The 10th and final tip that I have is a dandy. All right? Whenever you have a claim, the insurance company is going to send a representative, either independent or somebody that works for the insurance company or on the behalf of the insurance company. And they're going to come and take a look at everything. Well, I want you to do this. Follow them with a camera. Record every little step they take, and you ask questions. Is that wall damaged right there? See what they say, pin them down. Is my floors damaged? All right. You ask them, what about my ceiling? Do you see any damage in my ceiling? Because this is what happens, what I find out a lot of times. When the client or when the insured who owns the property is walking with the insurance adjuster, they're not asking questions. They're not pinning them down. If you have that recorded, it's very powerful. Make sure, ask him if he's okay if you record this, and then you follow him around. Because if you have floors that's damaged and he's like, no, I don't see any damage there, all right, and we have it point blank on a video, that's pretty substantial evidence to use against them. So you want to do that for every little piece of anything that's damaged, baseboards, whatever, all right? So you record it, you make sure they're on it, and you make sure you find out if they think anything that you think is damaged, you ask them, is it damaged? Okay? That's 10 tips on how you can maximize your storm damage claim. Don't let the insurance company get away with anything as far as lowballing you or giving you some ridiculous low offer or denying your claim. Fight back. If you need help with any storm damage claim, give me a call. My name's Mike with the Claim Squad Public Adjusters. You can reach me direct, 754-252-5438. Email me, theclaimsquad@gmail.com. The website, www.theclaimsquad.com. Thank you for your time and watch this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.